Hey Kaylee dog, what game do you want to play today? Do you want to play Alien Hominid on my Game Boy Advance player for my Gamecube? Okay, let's do that. Hello you nasties, welcome back to the channel. I am your host and love God the Nasty Bee. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Alien Hominid on my Game Boy Advance player for my Gamecube. Now this title is one that I've been meaning to check out for weeks here, but I've just been running into many roadblocks getting this one running. I actually detail a lot of those issues in my review of Disney's Aladdin for the Sega Genesis, so if you're interested in that shit, go ahead and just check out that review. Now this game's got somewhat of an interesting development history, so we're going to be taking a look at that first, and then we're going to dive right into the review. Now this title is an independently developed run and gun created by the Behemoth. It started its life out as an Adobe Flash game, which some of you might remember what that is, and it was released on Newgrounds in 2002, and I'm sure even fewer of you remember what that is, but that's not important for this video right now. And this next part is way too much shit for me to remember, and I can't get this one right, so I'm going to read it right off my phone. So, O3 Entertainment released this game for PlayStation 2 and GameCube in North America in 2004, and Zoo Digital Publishing released the game in Europe in fucking... what the fuck? Even reading it off my phone, I can't... Zoo Digital Publishing released the game in Europe for PS2, Xbox, and various mobile platforms in 2005. There we go. That's not that hard, is it? A port for the Game Boy Advance, which is the one that I'm playing, was co-developed by Tuna Technologies, great name by the way, and was released in Europe in 2006. I can't remember all those dates and stuff. There we go. So that's the end of that. Now I'm aware that many of you could just sit here and admire my good looks and, you know, I'm sure you appreciate my charisma, but we're not really here for that. We are here to review Alien Hominid. So I'm going to stop wasting your time with this bullshit and we're just going to hop right into the review now. So here I am playing it on my Game Boy Advance player on my GameCube, and as you can tell right now, everything about it looks pretty great. The art design on this already stands out, and that's what made me want to play it in the first place. There's all kinds of various levels to play through, like cities, the Arctics, desert, and even shmup type levels where you control a UFO that don't work well at all on the Game Boy Advance, and I wonder if they even worked well on the other versions, but aside from that, it's essentially your standard run and gun, and while it doesn't do too much to differentiate itself from others in that regard, it does set itself apart in other ways. The levels themselves are usually full of lots of obscure humor, like the buildings in the first stage and the names on them, like Castle of Crap. This building here, which I don't get, but okay. Or this building that says, enlarge your body, which all of this is just so stupid, it's my kind of humor and it's hilarious. I also want to mention the music in this game because all of it is outstanding. Here's a few snippets for you to sink your teeth into. basic gameplay is as follows. You're a tiny yellow alien with a little pea shooter, and you run through each stage and kill a bunch of government agents with your little pistol and bombs. You can grab a bunch of different weapon tropes like an ice gun, laser, or a flamethrower. Nothing really too creative here, but they are executed well, and you kill everything you have to by using these weapons. You have a limited amount of bombs and a health bar, and when it runs out, you lose a life. You have a roll that you can use to avoid fire that you will forget exists every second you play this game. I don't know if it's actually an effective move or not because I forgot to use it the entire time I played through this, but as I understand it, a well-timed roll will allow you to pass through enemy fire and avoid damage. You have a certain amount of lives, and when those are gone, you have to continue. The version of the game I played only has a certain amount of continues, so once those are gone, you have to start over. Obviously, I consistently cheat at games to beat them, so I have unlimited continues and lives because that's how I roll, and I'm going to bitch about this more in depth in a couple of minutes. There are multiple bosses on each stage, and each are interesting in that they have certain attack patterns that you have to learn. Think of it like run and gun punch out, if that makes sense, and they have a lot of one-hit kills, so you have to learn exactly what to do with them, otherwise you're going to be losing tons of lives with them. Each boss is fun and unique though to learn their pattern, but until you do, prepare to die a lot, and if you aren't cheating, also prepare to have these bosses eat up all of your continues and make you restart from the beginning. I guess you could argue that if you aren't cheating, these bosses could be the exact opposite of fun and be total bullshit. One thing that really stands out to me and something that I love is the grisly death animations a lot of the enemies display when you kill them. They grab at their throat while they spray blood everywhere, they are cut in half, their heads explode, they fall over railings, spilling blood everywhere. Basically everything you've ever wanted to do to people in real life is what you get here. You can turn people into ice and explode them like Sub-Zero in the Super Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat. You can blow up tanks with bombs. It's like a nihilistic dream come true. And I'll say that as much as I like games such as Metal Slug, when you are up against enemies that aren't human like scorpions, birds, or other aliens, the game just isn't as fun as when you're just murdering humans. And while I appreciate the variety, it also isn't nearly as fun when you're doing anything aside from running and gunning, such as the shmup levels, as weird as that is for me to say since I generally love that shit. I kinda wish games like this understood their strengths and stuck to them instead of trying to offer a little bit of everything and fucking it all up. I'll say though that it is possible, as Kirby's Adventure on the NES nailed this exact sort of formula, mixing platforming with random shmup stages, and it kicks ass in that game. I also reviewed that one, go watch it, but that game rules. There's a link in the description. Just to elaborate a bit on the shmup stages and why they aren't great, essentially all you do is fly around aimlessly while killing random enemies and picking up ship power-ups until you fight a boss. These stages go on for far too long and are absolutely zero fun to play through. It's just an unnecessary pause in the action, and the entire time I am playing this, I'm just wondering when this stupid shit will end so I can return to the run and gun sections, which are far better. As I mentioned previously, a major flaw with this title is the restrictions it comes with, ensuring you can't beat it whenever you want. It is worth mentioning because if you can't cheat your goddamn ass off like I did, it will seriously ruin the experience. I wouldn't have enjoyed this game half as much if I had to constantly restart it from the beginning. It's limited to 3 continues, which is stupid, and the game isn't exactly easy. Game devs need to stop doing that shit. Let me beat the game if I want to. If it's fun, I'll have no problem coming back to it. Everyone remembers Contra with the 30 lives code. As a kid, I had no problem beating that game every time I played it, yet I still played it all the time. Again, if the game is fun, I'll come back to it and play it. Don't slap some bullshit restrictions on me thinking it increases replayability, because all it does is increase frustration. If you've seen my review of Treasure games, that was a huge complaint of mine. They made their games impossible and gave you very few lives and continues and thought that was cute. It's not cute, it's garbage, and it makes me physically sick. And obviously, this kind of mechanic is just a symptom of the times, but I still don't have to like it, and I don't. Look, the game is simple enough. My general opinion is that if you enjoy the general gameplay loop of running forward and killing shit in a stylistic and creative way, you will enjoy this game. It is a standard run and gun, all things considered, but the power-ups and the bombs, the enemies and the bosses, and the stage designs, everything makes sense, and it's a really fun game to play through. If you enjoy games like Metal Slug or Contra on the NES, there's absolutely no reason not to check this one out, and it's a relatively short playthrough, assuming you don't have to constantly start from the beginning, and the entire game can be beaten in about an hour. Pick this one up if you can, and perhaps maybe try a port that's not the GBA version, as I understand it's the most stripped down, but even if that is your only option, like it was mine without playing it on my PC, it's still a great time, and I loved this game. It was worth the trouble trying to play it for this review. And there you have it. Another review that doesn't have me flipping out about garbage like I did on the last one when I looked at Disney's Aladdin for the Genesis. This game is better than that by a mile. What do you think about this game? Have you played it? Do you like it as much as I did? Leave your comments below and let me just thank you again for stopping by and giving this a watch. It's always appreciated, and I will see you guys on the next video.
We're fucking in Mexico, you little piece of fucking shit!